G'day everyone and welcome to the third video in the Building a Model Railway series. Now some of you may be wondering why the two videos so far, which are building a layout planning and model railway exterior layout lighting, are so disconnected from each other. Well, the aim for this series for me is to show you different aspects of building a model railway, but isn't necessarily connected to just building a model railway from beginning to end, as there are heaps of videos on YouTube showing various aspects of building a model railway. So I'm going to show you videos in this series of aspects of the model railway building process that there's either not many videos around, or I just want to show you a particular aspect of building a model railway. So keep following this playlist and hopefully I'll have more videos of different aspects for you soon. So on to today's video. You may remember from part 1 where I talked about planning, and that was to do with the station at the other end of the N-gauge layout here. Now, this video has changed quite a bit since that planning due to space restrictions, so I didn't really want to film the whole construction of that station because it would sort of contradict all what I was saying in the planning video. That's alright, plans can change in model railway, that's part of it. The project I'll be showing you today is to do with the back area of this station. This is the fiddle yard for the top section, as I can't just run the same train between the two stations the whole time. So I've got 3 tracks here where I can store 3 different trains and they can shunt and go about their duties, and I can swap them and operate them however I like. However, it's always important with the model railway to always start the scenery, which I'm up to with this top section, back to front, because otherwise if you start with the front you'll be reaching over things to do the back and you'll be squashing and ruining things at the front if you bump anything. So you always start at the back, and I want to cover up this fiddle yard here, and from this angle it's good because the retaining wall completely covers it, but from this angle people can see the cardboard and they can see all the wooden structures that hold the retaining wall up, and they can see the fiddle yard. Now I don't necessarily want that, so I'm going to be building a bit of a town scene on top of this retaining wall here, and that is going to be the, or at least the first part of the series of building the town scene on top of the fiddle yard in this video. So the town scene is going to be constructed on this MDF. The first step for me is to somehow attach the MDF to the supports holding the retaining wall, but attach it so that it can be lifted off so I can still get to trains in the fiddle yard if they derail. I'm going to be doing this by magnets and attaching magnets to each of the boards and then screws on this side here so it will hold the board in place. So let's get onto it. So these are the magnets I'll be using to attach the top board to the supports. They may sit like this on the supports, or they may be drilled in depending on how high the top board is, as I need to make it level with the top of the retaining wall so I can cover up this corrugated cardboard look with a sheet across the board. So I guess I'll show you what we get up to. As you can see, there's a 1 magnet in the gap there between the top board and the supports. So that magnet there will be glued to the top board, and then I'll drill a hole in each of the supports so the magnet can go inside the supports. So as you can see, it's pretty level here, and as we come further along you can see it sticks up a bit, so each magnet will have to be drilled individually and make sure that it fits properly. So some may have to be drilled further than others. So I will get onto that now. So I have a 10mm drill bit, and I only want to go down a couple mil. So I've got to be careful with how I drill these, because if I drill them too deep then the magnets aren't going to line up nicely and the board's going to be all warped. So let's get to it. So as you can see, the first magnet is in pretty much flush. And I don't think it matters if it's just slightly above, but it's really not much. So that will be glued in there, of course after all the others are drilled. Then while waiting for that to glue, I'll paint the board, and then I can stick another magnet on top of this one, and then that will glue to the top board and that will sit there for 12 hours or so, and I can bring that off. Alright, so now each of the magnets are glued in, the next step can start. Now I intend to put street lights and LEDs in buildings like I have previously, which I'll show you when I get to it. But to do that I need to have some sort of power source running along the top board, so that's what I'm going to get onto next, as well as painting it to seal it so all the glue and stuff doesn't ruin and or like glue with water in it doesn't ruin the MDF. That's the first coat done, and I normally would only do one coat because it's just a protect sort of thing, but despite the paint saying brown or Van Dyke brown, it's turned out quite black, so I'll be doing another coat of a different brown on top because I don't really want black showing through underneath as any scenery, because no soil unless it's really rich is ever that black, so I'll be probably doing something like a burnt umber underneath, but this shouldn't take too long to dry, so I should be right. So you can see I've given a second coat to this board. It was a burnt umber, so it was a bit more of a brownish shade than the previous colour, but it doesn't really matter. At least it's something to protect it, and if a little bit shows through under the scenery it's fine because it's brown, it's normal, it's soil, better than being black because that's just not normal for a ground sort of colour. So I have to wait for that to dry and then get onto the wiring for underneath for the lighting. So the magnets are on, as you can see there, and now I'm up to the copper. Now I'm cutting this copper board into centimetre wide pieces, and this particular board is that long, as you can see. It doesn't really matter, so I'm going to cut them like this and stick them along, and then Dremel halfway through between, so I've got a positive and negative side, no electrical connection so I don't cause a short circuit, and that's in place for my building lights. So I'll keep going. So there's 4 pieces done. That'll be enough. I'll just connect those with the wiring and then Dremel halfway between them. But I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I might show you those details in the next video, but the next bit is just gluing these on and getting on with it. Alright, see you later.